allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilmember Armstrong.
Here.
Councilmember Groves.
Here.
Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Patrick. Randall.
Here.
Walker.
Here.
Mayor Cramlett.
Here. Okay, additions or amendments to the agenda?
There are none. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we're trying this new technology out tonight. It's called freeconferencecall, or freeconferencecall.com, I'm sorry. And it allows more than 3 people to call in on the phone. We can have up to 1,000 people if we wanted to hold a public meeting. And it will list for us and give us the list on the website after we're done of who called in, what phone numbers called in. It'll record the meeting and store their meeting for us for a while. We will also record it, so it goes into our archives. But we're just trying to improve our little technology a little bit so that we can have meetings. The governor signed an executive order that allows us to have meetings in order to pass the budget where there's more than 10 people. So as long as we practice social distancing and allow the public a way to attend and make comments, whether written or electronic, then this works for us. So this is a test. If it goes well tonight, this is what we will do for the foreseeable future, so that you don't have to have a computer at home with a camera and lights and background and all, so for your Zoom meeting. But this is a test. We'd appreciate your feedback on it to see how it works after we're all done. Just a comment.
So we know our council members here.
Yes.
If there were 50 other people, they'd be sitting there listening to us.
That's correct.
And they just have to pipe up if they want.
That's correct. When you ask for public input, they can say their name, you recognize them, and then they can put in their public input. We put the number on the bottom of the agenda.
Okay.
So that anybody can call in and take notes, make comments at the appropriate times. You will have to recognize them as far as being able to speak, but that way we can maintain some decorum. We'd ask everybody to mute their phones so that we don't hear the dogs in the background or the kids. And then when they have something to say, they can unmute it and say, Your Honor, I'd like to say something, and you can recognize them. So just a couple of little etiquette rules just to make that work for us.
Or seeing something that irritates you, jump in your car and drive down here.
If you want to come in person, you're more than welcome to come. The door is unlocked. We will have, this applies for city council meetings, planning commission meetings, and budget committee meetings for the local government. So we can hold those meetings and still have allow us to run the government. That's what the executive order says. So it's good for us. Okay, sorry, Your Honor, but I just wanted to.
No, thank you. Well, and it's good that and that's how this whole thing is going, is people keep you, every day something advances out there that you weren't able to get to do the day before.
Yeah. Thank you.
Or you lose ground on, like, I'm a meat person. It sounds like I'm gonna be struggling for meat here in a short period of time.
Could be.
Sounds like we're maybe losing ground on it. May wind up like toilet paper.
Beans and rice. Beans and rice.
That's okay, that's all. Okay, adoption of the consent agenda, which is approval of the minutes. Doesn't have I don't see the date on it. Would have been the last meeting.
April 13th.
April 13th. And ratification of the bills, the amount of $41,688.40.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
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 Very good. Opposed? Okay, public hearing,
We have none?
action, appointment to committee.
We have none of those?
Approve IGA for EMS medications and supplies.
Fire captain is with us today. The coalition of 6 departments in the gorge have gotten together and agreed to have Hood River lead the purchasing of equipment and supplies, medicine and supplies for us. As we order in larger quantities, we get better prices. They're willing to do the billing. They're willing to send bills out to us as we take whatever we need. And this is a intergovernmental agreement between the 6 fire departments that are listed on the agreement. And we propose that you approve this intergovernmental agreement to help us lower our costs a little bit. Any questions?
I move that we approve the IGA for emergency medical supply medications and emergency medical services, medications and supplies.
Is there a second?
Second.
You gotta do that what?
Richard?
Richard, okay. So it's been moved and seconded to approve the IGA for the cooperative purchasing of EMS medication supplies. Discussion. Richard, anything you want to say?
No, only that I know that 5 years ago we talked about this and it was recommended, I think, by the ad hoc committee that we had going. But yeah, it all ties in together, and yeah, it works.
Bobby, do you want to say anything?
No, thank you.
Linda,
Nope.
Jules,
I think it's a great idea, so I'm for it.
and you can speak up if you like.
Sarah, glad you're here. Please.
Yes, I just seen the memo on the bottom that I was trying the other extension. My bad, I'm sorry.
Well, I left you a message today on your phone. Hopefully that helped a little bit, but you got it. You're here, and we just.
I said here,
You can't hear it all?
I'm here.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Sarah? Well, she's here. We hear you. Why would she not hear it? It has nothing to do with mute or anything, though, right? Okay, well,
I don't know.
all in favor,
Just
say
tell me
aye.
to turn it up. It's really quiet if you don't turn it up really loud.
Oh, is that to Sarah?
You can barely
No,
hear you
Jules.
guys, unless you're on the line.
Okay, we'll turn it up a little bit more. This is a test.
Sarah, do you hear us?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, so we're getting ready to vote on a motion for IGA to cooperative purchasing of EMS medication and supplies. Is there anything you want to say on that subject? Can you still hear me?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, Your Honor, I think it's a great idea, and I'm happy that we're finally implementing it now. I mean, anytime you can gain more purchasing power,
Yes,
that's the way to go. Thank you.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Sounds like carried there.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, the captain is here. We have some grants that we've been looking at, and we wanted to present some ideas to you on the direction that we should take these grants. So, Captain?
So the biggest opportunity for us right now in the grant world is the SAFER grant. SAFER stands for Safely, hold on, look at it.
Safety Assistance for Firefighters.
Safely Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Services Response. So it's a personnel grant, and it's a 4-year grant, and the first 3 years they pay 70% of the wages. The 4th year they pay 30%, and then after the 4th year it's all on the city. So I've come up with a couple options for the city to look at and to talk about. The first option would be to go after the grant and get a volunteer recruitment and retention person. And their main focus is to recruit and retain volunteers. That doesn't solve all of our issues right off the bat, but it does solve a lot of them with volunteers. We have been pretty fortunate in the last few months to acquire a bunch of new volunteers, so much that we're going to put on our own firefighter academy to get those folks through. The next two options are more response oriented, where the recruitment and retention officer doesn't necessarily respond to calls, but has the ability. Their main focus is going out in the community and finding volunteers. So the first option would be to hire one more firefighter paramedic with this, which would bring us up to 3 firefighter paramedics. And at that time, we would put the paramedics on shifts. So there would always be ALS coverage within the city of Cascade locks, unless we had a second call and the first ambulance out was transferred. And then we would rely on volunteer EMTs at night, and the current firefighter EMT position would augment the station captain's schedule. So we'd have 7 day a week coverage during the day that we would have a firefighter EMT or a station captain EMT and a paramedic in the station. The third option would be to go after one more firefighter paramedic and 2 firefighter EMTs to have 2 people on a shift 24/7. My fear with that option is in 4 years, where are we going to be? I don't want to hire 3 people to then have to lay 2 or 3 people off and be back to this position in 4 years. I think my personal feeling is we try to go for the grant for one firefighter paramedic and have 24-hour ALS coverage and work with volunteers and the current EMT BLS career staff to have 24-hour response. I think it's the safest bet at this time. Unless anybody has any feelings of where we're going to be in 4 years that I don't know. And the grant to do, it's pretty time consuming to write. I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate the FEMA website, which is confusing and stuff, so we got a little bit of work to do. And then there's other grants out there that have just come up. The AFG grant, Assistance to Firefighters grant, they just got another $100 million to go after PPE in response to COVID-19. And so I'm rapidly researching that and trying to figure out dates and how to get in on that and what that all entails. But the SAFER grant is one of my highest priorities, and to see if it's a viable option for us and how we can improve our staffing. Just with the staffing improvements that have been made so far, I just ran these reports today. From January 1st from January 1st of this year through today, we've received mutual aid 4 times. One of those was an automatic aid, which we had a possible first alarm structure fire. And then we have given mutual aid 7 times. So 90% of our calls that are in the city of Cascade locks require no aid from anywhere else.
And that's because of you, and we appreciate that.
It's because of the staff.
That must look great on the chart.
And currently, through today, for the year, we're at 112 calls per year,
Which is about 1 a day.
which is 6 shy of 1 a day.
So one of the opportunities we have with this SAFER grant is to hire somebody to write the grant for us that goes through it. But the fellow that we have found who seems to have been successful in getting these SAFER grants wants 10% of the amount of grant, which the city would have to pay. If we get this grant and it's, $200,000 a year for 4 years, $800,000, we pay him $80,000 over the course of the grant. There are grant limitations that FEMA has, I'm sure, that the grant will not cover, that kind of thing. I'm sure there are other people that can write grants for a fee instead of a percentage. But that's one of the things we want to look at, because these SAFER grants are not easy to write.
No.
And
And most people that I've talked to who have had success with SAFER grants have used a grant writer. The county just had a AFG grant get approved, so we're getting new air packs. And those have been ordered and they'll be here in 90 days. So I was going to reach out to the chief in charge of that to see who he used as his grant writer and contact him and see if he has any info on SAFER grants, and if so, what he charges to.
so with the council's permission, we would like to pursue a SAFER grant and potential grant writer that is not excessive cost, so that we can get one more paramedic, EMT. So by having the 3 paramedics, we do ABC shift. They're on 24 and off 48. Or you want to do 48 and off?
4896s.
But you can do 4896s. And that, the firefighters, in my experience, who have been doing this for 30 years, they love that schedule. And they'd still be able to, we would have them in here 24/7. They could sleep in the bunks, respond to the calls at night. It's the most efficient way to run a fire ambulance service. So if that's okay with this commission or council, we could pursue this. When we get the grant, you'd have to approve it anyway. staff with EMTs, the volunteers that we have. And we have some excellent volunteers that have come out of the woodwork, moved here.
Paying what, 42%? So we were paying what, 42%, something like that of our general fund went to, are we still at that, or what is our percentage?
42% does, and then we've gone above and beyond that to
42%, we're
cover
probably
the.
about 50%? So we're about 42%, we're probably about 50%?
Other general fund property taxes goes over us. And other general fund revenue supports the rest. I don't have the number handy, but it's substantial. Take out of the general fund, we take out of the general fund to support
So again, I'd like to have that,
firefighter.
that conversation. So again, I'd like to have that on, that conversation with the council director we want to have, you know, I'm good with it, personally. But when you take out that $100-some thousand, that years ago, we weren't doing that, we're now doing that. We're losing $120,000 that we could be doing something else in the community from our general fund. So what we have pushed towards, and maybe we're good with that, is our general fund is being pushed into the emergency services, and with that, yeah, there's things, you're not gonna get recreation, you're not gonna get this, you're not gonna, there's a number of whatever things people do, and you're not gonna have a park, you know, whatever.
And let's look at that as we go through the budget process. We are growing the general fund. Our property taxes are increasing because of all the new homes that have been built. The revenues from the electric department, 5% of that goes to the general fund. So let's take a look at all of those numbers together when we go through the budget process to see how much we're spending. But in the meantime, let's at least put the grant together so we know how much we're talking about and projecting in the future, you know, how much we're gonna have to be spending and how much revenue we're gonna have to raise.
Okay.
We do have the $6 fee per utility account. That is good through 2024. And
then it has to go out for vote again. So we have to get support of the citizens again, which I think the citizens, you know, personally, how well it's passed okay in the last 2 times.
Oh, yeah, there's never a doubt.
Okay. And I think that happens because of, well, frankly, what everybody was, what Jessica did, what you did, what the council has kind of held to, has run it on those things. Other than obviously, we're dipping into our general fund more to make it happen. Hey, I'm good with that. What I'm solid with though is the person you were the one item where you're saying bring on somebody for 3 that's bringing out more volunteers. That's our whole push to do that. That I'm totally for, because that person understands. My job is to try to build this thing up, get out there, hustle volunteers, and 3 years I'm done. I'm going to do this for 3 years and I'm done. But a person who's a paramedic, once you start them, you want to figure out how to keep them.
Do you think you could put both options together and we can talk about it?
Yeah.
So, no stone unturned.
To me, that one option, that's a no-brainer to me. Do
For
that.
the recruitment intention position, I've seen multiple ways they've done that. Somebody with 0 fire experience that comes in and is just really good at going to the community and selling a department. They've also done it where, they have fire and EMS certifications and they do both. So we can look at that. To your point about recovering more calls, yes. We're transporting more people, yes. Some of those transports at night when there's no paramedic here are BLS, which is a reduced rate in our transport cost. So we're getting less money for that transfer, but we're still requiring the same amount of money to do that transfer for fuel, maintenance, equipment, other than the ALS drugs that an ALS provider would have used. We're still acquiring costs.
Well,
So I'm good with whatever the council decides.
we're a growing community. There's no doubt. I mean, obviously, and the expectation is to have somebody like you, to have, as the community grows, to have somebody like you and an organization like yours. To me, I gotta believe, because I grew up in a small town. It was just like I grew up with just Wayne Coates. He knew first aid. Wayne Coates was going to show up and take care of you. Then, they're going to throw you in the station wagon and get you to, get you to it was snap, grab them and go as fast as you can, but there's hospitals, what I grew up with.
Yeah, I mean, we're
So
still
when you
really-
have brought
really
that,
still
you brought
doing
us to a whole new, well, not you, the council, this council brought this thing to a whole new level. And you really helped us come to a whole new level. So I'm all in favor of supporting what you're trying to do there, but we need to take a really good, strong look at,
We gotta put some
can we
numbers-
afford to do it?
Yeah, we gotta put numbers to the
Yeah,
paper and see what we're looking at.
But like we're saying, who knows what it'll be in 4 years? It could be that things have continued the upward trend and we could take over that position maybe by then in 4 years. I mean, we don't know what the future holds.
I personally believe we can.
Yes, I
Yeah,
think we
yeah.
could too, but.
But I don't know,
want
yeah.
to get too far out there, but yeah, but I certainly, appreciate that you're looking at that and trying to expand the department and grow it. I mean, that's been our goal, and it's been a tough climb. I mean, we've put off an ordinance officer for the last 2 or 3 times to build up the EMS. And maybe if you get that grant, and that's a position, then we could look at it. Maybe.
Maybe code enforcement, yes.
So let me get the council in on. Richard, did you want to bring up anything on this?
No, it sounds to me like we're gonna have this conversation again.
Yeah, okay. Bobby, do you want to say anything or wait for the next one?
No, we're gonna wait and talk about it once, we can get together, or if we get a better handle on the grant, then I'm willing to do that.
Sarah, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, what I can hear, I think we need to talk about it later again, I think.
Glenda?
Is there a timetable on the grant?
Yes, I don't know when the grant closes off the top of my head, but it just opened on the 15th, so I would assume we have a couple months to figure some stuff out.
Well, I would like to see this in paper. I can, I hear a little bit here, and then I can't hear, and then I can hear a little bit again. I don't want to make a decision. I don't want to make a decision when I can't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I want to see this in paper.
Okay. Jules?
I completely agree with Glenda. It's really difficult to hear. Pieces are coming in and out. I can hear Glenda. I can hear Sarah. Whoever's on the phone, I can hear. I cannot hear people that are in the room. So having stuff on paper or everybody be on the phone might help, because we cannot hear you guys at all. Yeah, I can hear you and Glenda crystal clear.
Yeah, and I'm having.
So I don't, this whole meeting is not, I don't feel comfortable voting on anything or making any major decisions when I can't hear what's going on. That's just me. Yeah, that's me also.
Okay, we're gonna work on that technology. Did you hear that? Nope.
I could we'll be having a repeat of this meeting.
We're gonna work on technology. We're not gonna repeat the meeting. Things in this meeting,
I heard bits and pieces also.
things in this meeting will come around again.
But, we are in agreement to pursue it.
Yes. And we'll put numbers to paper, and we'll bring those back, and you can see which one you want to go.
Yeah, let's find out just how much it.
Thank you.
Grant writer makes.
1 million.
Thank you. Obviously, we're gonna, we need to, we're good.
Good.
Thank you.
It's not too late for a career change. Thanks, Brad.
Okay, interested citizens. Did you want to say something, Butch?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Reports, city committees,
Nothing?
city administrator Zimmerman's report.
I hope you all got the email copies today of the administrator's report. The first one was Captain Logan on the agenda. The second was the ADA ramp. The construction will begin next week. It may extend beyond July 31st because they have to follow the COVID-19 protocols. We don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see, but when they have to do social distancing, that's pretty tough to do when you're in a crew trying to build a curb. So that may be a problem. Number 3, the well has been drilled. It looks very good. They still have to do all of the rest of the piping and wiring and all the rest of that stuff. But the initial tests on the well were excellent. The Gorge Humps project, they will be well, they were supposed to this last weekend, but apparently the weather did not cooperate. They're going to grind down the asphalt, excuse me, and then repave it and restripe it because we were not happy with the job that they did before. City Hall will continue to be closed through May 31st unless something else happens where we can open up sooner. And after we have the restrictions lifted, then we can have the council come back and do our social distancing work while the council's in session. Utility billing, again, as a reminder for anybody that's watching and listening, you can pay online, you can mail a check, or you can drop your payment into the Dropbox. City council meeting, the next one is May 11th. May 25th is Memorial Day, and before you decide if you want to cancel the Memorial Day meeting, let's go to budget committee meetings. With the governor's executive order, she's relaxed the requirements for meeting size for local governments only. In other words, we can have more than 10. She's also relaxed the publication criteria. Before we had to publish in a paper a certain number of days ahead of time. We can now do that publications online and by posting at the post office and the store. So what I'm suggesting to you is that we have our council meeting on May 11th. On May 20th, a week, just a couple of days before we would normally have the 25th, we have our first budget committee meeting. And because all of the members of the budget committee were on last year, we have a very short training at the beginning of that budget meeting and then go into the first half, the general fund portion of the budget. And then we can either continue on that night and try and get it all done, or we can come back on the 27th, a week later, and do the rest of the budget. So that's kind of my proposal. Is there any thoughts about that kind of scheduling? So we'd have a meeting on the 11th, a meeting on the 20th, and a meeting on the 27th.
Really well last year, it's possible. Yeah, I'd be okay with shooting for that, and then we always, if we don't make it, we always got that backup day.
Yeah, and we also have the opportunity, we don't have to have it done by June 30th because the governor has given us the opportunity to delay it if we have to.
So they don't have your report, right?
They do.
They do.
Well, if they open their email, they do.
Okay. Did you guys hear Gordon's comments on budget? Richard?
I heard, meeting May 11th, budget committee 20th and 27th, is that what I heard?
That's correct.
Did you hear?
Online, like the room.
Sarah, did you hear that? Jules, did you hear that?
I heard parts of it. Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's about what I got out of it. May 11th, the meeting, May 20th and 27th. Then towards the end, you broke up and got all scratchy. I couldn't hear.
Did you hear it, Bobby?
Well, I did part of it, but then, Sarah repeated it, but I got the idea, so I'm good.
So how well do you hear me right now?
I hear you fine.
Sarah, you
I
hear me?
do, oh,
Jules, do you hear me fine?
this is Glenda.
Oh, Glenda, do you hear me?
It's better, yeah.
Jules, do you hear me?
I hear you.
Clear enough?
Yeah, right now, you're coming in loud and clear, but most of the time when you're talking, we can't hear half of what you say.
So I'm breaking up?
You're too far away for it to pick up your voice.
What's
Sounds
that?
like you're walking away.
When you sit over there, you're too far away for it to pick up your voice. It just can't pick it up.
But it should pick me up right here though, right?
It seems like it is, yeah.
So that's what we'll do. So are you guys hearing me okay here right now?
Better.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, so I'm gonna bring in a part of this thing here that I'd like to.
Are we all done with the budget? Are we good?
Are we good with the budget dates?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Can anybody hear me?
I hear you.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I want to know if this budget meeting is going to be conducted on the phone like we're doing right now.
That, it's gonna
I'm
be,
not happy. I'm not happy with sitting here trying to hear, and I can't hear, and I'm not gonna make decisions when I cannot hear anything. I agree with that. Me too.
well,
Is there a way that the next meeting could be everybody on the telephone? Because I think that might be easier.
we could do that. We could all call in.
Cause
I think so too.
you guys all hear each other just fine, right?
We
Crystal
hear you,
clear, I hear
but
it.
it's you guys being in the room. And when we're being addressed, like if you guys talk and then one by one go through us and we unmute ourselves and tell you what we think, I think if we're all on the phone, it would be much easier that way.
We can do
I
that.
concur.
I do those kind of phone calls with my kids and it works out really well.
Okay. All right.
So, telephonic meetings next time.
I'm back to the phone.
So next time it's all gonna be on the phone. And now, the budget meetings.
We can do the budget meetings all on the phone, or we can be downstairs in the gym and social distance, but you gotta come.
So do any of you have a problem with coming to a budget meeting live in the gym with 10 people or more?
No, I don't wanna pass the budget just over the telephone. I mean, you know, I'd like to have something in hand, you know, a hard copy of something, and then
Oh, you'll have that.
ask questions and.
You're gonna have to come to the gym?
I think if we could all agree to be there, I wouldn't have a problem with that, but having one person or 3 people on the phone wouldn't work. And I think in the gym, how many people would be at the meeting?
We have 14 on the budget committee plus 3 staff.
14.
It would probably
17.
work it would probably work in the gym,
Yep, we can do
right?
it.
Well, my question is will everybody come to that? Linda, will you come to that?
With a mask on, yes.
Okay. So Jules, will you come to that?
Yeah, I think Linda made a good point. Everybody wearing a mask would probably be a good idea as
Okay.
well,
Bobby, would you come to that?
if that's what Linda said.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, I don't have my map.
Okay. Richard, would you come to that?
I would.
Okay. So that's what we'll do then.
Okay.
So budget's gonna be in the gym
On the
and,
20th at 6:30.
Well, we'll come to, yeah.
okay. So we'll be doing the budget in the gym. First one is when?
May 20th,
May 20th,
6:30.
6:30. So we need to get through this. There's something else I want to, I've been working with a group here on trying to get Cascade locks open the port, and I've been involved in with it too. So you guys all received the governor's opening method, of what the governor's asking for opening. We put together a task force here for a safe opening for Cascade locks. And I'd like to have everybody take a look at it. And I would like to, because we may be opening soon here. And I would like to get a vote of the council, whether we want to do this thing or we need changes in it. So it should be, it'll be sent out to you by email.
It's already out to you.
Okay, so it's already out to you. So we'd like to have everybody take a look at it. If you're good with it, might call a meeting here possibly in a few days if they think we need to do that. Because I want us to have some kind of a process on board along with the governor's process to let them know that Cascade Locks is prepared and has a plan on the reopening of the community. So if you take a look at that, I'll get a hold of everybody and then we'll try to get an earlier meeting than our next meeting to just pass that very specific thing, if we're good with it. Okay?
I am.
You good with that, Bob?
While we're on the subject of that, sorry.
Go ahead, is that Jules? Or Sarah?
Yeah, I had a couple, it's Jules.
Okay,
Can you guys hear me?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. I had some concerns about when we do reopen and how we do reopen. The amount of tourists that are going to flood us is going to be extreme. Even with everything closed, I mean, it's still on the weekends gets awfully busy. And we have a small store. A lot of people are only shopping in that store because they don't want to go to bigger towns. We have a lot of vulnerable people to this in our town, and before we do anything, we need to hear what everybody really thinks about it, not just, in my opinion, us, but people who live here. Because I'm scared about how many people are going to come out here. I work in a restaurant, and I mean, if we open up Memorial Day or right before 4th of July, and I mean, there's going to be so many people because they've been cooped up and they're going to come out and hike, and they're going to overrun us, and people aren't going to follow social distancing rules when they're told they can go out.
and so that's the discussion we need to have, because we are gonna open up. That's gonna happen. So the name of the game is sit down and figure out how we're gonna do it. So take a look at this plan. There's been a plan kind of put together. The governor has one, and one is put together here. If there's things you want to add to it, add that to it. We'll have a phone discussion and either do it or not do it or whatever. But we're trying to put together a plan. So, but the problem is you are correct, and there's nothing you can. Frankly, we can control each business, and that's what our plan does. Is how businesses are going to manage their space. But once you get outside of their space, there's not a whole lot you control. But we can control each business space, and anybody who can't get into that space is going to have to move on, or I'm not sure how that's going to work, because we have no control of that. We can't control Wanapa and big spaces, but we can control what goes on in the store. We can control what goes on in restaurants, following the lead of the owners of those businesses. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get some information out on that, try to put a plan together, so when we do open, at least those little pieces of spaces that we know that are potential concerns, we've tried to alleviate the problem. But you are correct. They're going to be coming. I'm looking probably and maybe other people open it a little bit before we do a full opening and see what happens. I know Hood River County right now is gonna be opening some of their spaces.
County parks.
Yeah, parks and that, and that's gonna show something. So people are gonna start opening up. And, you know, from our end of it, the more other people open up, the easier it'll be for us. I don't plan on being the first one open. That will do us no good. So, but we need to have some kind of a plan. So, take a look at the thing and figure out what you'd like or don't like about it, and we'll try to get something going here before this potential opening happens, because we don't know. It sounds like the governor's looking at mid-May, but the governor's under a lot of pressure from a lot of communities to open up their communities. Which, you know, that works okay with us, frankly, because if other communities open up, you're gonna see pressure taken off of us. But they are coming, folks. And, you know, we gotta do the best we can, so let's get a plan together. I've got a template for one here. Take a look at it and see what we can do. Well, that's it for me. We don't have anything else there. Do we want to make some?
I don't have anything else.
Do we all want to make comments? Richard, do you want to make a comment?
No, I would just like to, you know, just remind everybody about, when we reopen, we're still supposed to practice, you know,
Yep.
all the personal hygiene stuff. Everybody is, including, wearing, you know, masks and stuff when you're in social distancing when you're there. But one of the things that we can do is we can continue to, protect the most vulnerable people. In other words, like if you know somebody that needs to go somewhere that's elderly, don't let them go. Do it for them, you know. Don't. If you hear they're going to the post office, maybe talk to them and figure out how they can go to the post office when nobody's there. Simple thing, just to protect yourself. It always comes back to personal responsibility. So, but anyway, we are going to have to open sooner or later because our economy is going to be more difficult to come back together the longer we wait. So but anyway, I'm looking forward to having that conversation.
Bobby,
That's all I got.
Bobby, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a nightmare. Like, how many times has there been, you know, like a decent day, like in California, they opened up a beach and it was just wall-to-wall people, and it's happened here already. That's why the old highway's closed. It happened on the Oregon Beach. You cannot rely on everybody following the rules because there's a large percentage of people that they're going to do what they're going to do and the hell with everybody else. And so when I read this, I think that it brings up a lot of things that I have issue with. And if we're going to talk about it, we should do it in person and at a group, just like you're talking about doing for the budget committee meetings. I do have a question that maybe you can answer, Your Honor, is whose say-so trumps who? I mean, do we have more legal power to make things more stringent than the governor does?
That's a question I'm gonna ask the city attorney as I send this to him tomorrow. We're also gonna send it to the insurance company to see if we're building any liability issues in here. And I'll also send it to the county public health for their vetting to make sure that we're not stepping on their toes. Because they are ultimately the responsibility is the county health department.
Well, the mayor of Oregon City, I guess, made some comments about opening up, and the governor came down on Oregon City pretty hard. So, I agree, we're gonna have to look at this list. I have, some issues with how things are listed out as order of importance. And, some of the things that, you know, who's gonna decide who goes in to work and who doesn't. I think we need to talk about that a lot.
Very good. Sarah?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, I agree with Bobby and Jules and Glenda. I think we're all on the same page that we do definitely have a lot to discuss, and it's really tough on the phone, and everything in hand. And yeah, I think it's a discussion we need to have, but I think we should do it in person. But yeah, it's a lot on our plate right now. I hope everybody continues to stay safe.
Linda?
I just want to encourage everybody to take care of themselves and stay safe.
Jules?
That's it.
Oh, thank you. Jules?
I think I already touched on a couple things. I was gonna ask if we are gonna be doing curbside pickup of yard debris anytime soon. It seems like something that could be done within social distancing. And, cause I've seen quite a few piles out on curbs, and I'm just wondering if, when we get into a little further into the summer, the fire hazard, if it was something we could continue to do within social distancing.
I talked to Sheldon today about that very subject, and we decided to move it to June. We'll have dumpster days and the yard debris pickup probably in June. We haven't picked the dates yet, but we will advertise that later.
Okay. I did take some stuff down to the burn pile. It's pretty, I mean, it's pretty easy to do it if you know somebody with a truck.
Right.
But not everybody can do that.
Right.
Because I got rid of a bunch of stuff last week, and dropping stuff off down there on the burn pile was really easy.
Yep.
So. And
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
thanks to everybody, and I'm looking forward to working with everybody on getting reopened at some point. Thanks.
All right. Bruce?
Yeah, I would, since I see him in person, thank you, Captain Logan. I just love going by the fire hall and seeing those doors open. And, yeah, there's life down there, and I like that. Thank you. And I'd like to give a shout out to the coffee shop. They've been going and helping people on both sides of the gorge, little goodie bags and medicine and stuff. And those girls are doing a great job down there. And I guess that's all I have, except maybe can we control the entries to our town? Can we limit the number of people that come through?
No.
Pretend we're Multnomah Falls? Nope, no more room, shutting the gates. We don't do that. Oh, it's not our road. Yeah.
Maybe Bobby could do that.
Hey, strategic breakdowns.
Yeah, you can certainly do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, probably getting with it, once Gordon gets this stuff vented out here, we're probably gonna need to get together and in the gym and discuss this, because we have to, we need to have, the governor has a plan, but we should also have our own plan on how we get our community open. We know, what our businesses are, we know what it takes to operate them, we've seen the issues in the business. And we should be able to come up with a decent plan. But yeah, there's nothing you can do about the numbers that are showing up here. But what you can do is control how they move in and out of our businesses. So we're gonna need to get together in the gym, all of us, and go through this, because we need to have some kind of a plan. So thank you.
Mayor, I have a question for you, Mayor.
Yeah.
Oh, you just, brought it up. I was just, oh boy, I'm thinking that, shouldn't, maybe, a couple, or a way for the business people to have some input with that talk around we're gonna have?
Yeah, we're working, they're working with them too. I know some of them already have a plan that they wanna submit their plan, which is what you need to do. If they can come up with a plan that's a solid plan, then you're good to go. So, yeah,
Well,
that is
guess
part of the
we,
process.
Yeah, we should try to get some feedback from them.
Yes. Okay, we're looking for a motion to adjourn, I think, unless there's other matters.
I move that we adjourn.
We got a second?
Second.
All right, we move to second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. We're gonna be getting a hold of you again here though, and we're gonna do something in the gym here to